Our officials are just about set. Joe Rudolph, Ronnie Branch, and Jared Adler. The three officials working game 2 here at Elkhart this afternoon. Snider in their home white uniforms. They've got the yellow numbers, yellow Snider across the chest. Meanwhile, for Crown Point, red jerseys, white letters, and numbers. Dikembe Shaw is going to get into the center circle at 6'7". He'll jump it up against the 6'5" Tank Pascal, and Crown Point wins the tip. Quickly front court, Rhodes to Molaski, and his pass down low is intercepted by Braylon Fertil. So Snider gets the ball on a turnover by Crown Point. Fertil on the wing, lost the handles, poked away, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Fertil. And so the Crown Point Bulldogs force a Snider turnover. And after a quick exchange of some turnovers, we have Crown Point in the front court. Molaski, top of the key, sends it over on the wing to Rhodes. Rhodes dribbles to the foul line. 15-footer way off the mark to the left, and the rebound, Trell Hogue of Snider. He gives Fertil left wing. Now to Hogue. Hogue with the dribble, 30 feet out. Corner to Fertil, looks for Pascal down low. He gets it to Pascal, but Pascal steps on the baseline. So the second Snider turnover already. 7:14 to play, opening quarter, still scoreless. Panthers and the Bulldogs. Front court, Rhodes. Through Peters to Shaw. Molaski. Rhodes. Now on the wing, where Darrell sends it down low, and Shaw gets position but misses twice. He missed it and then had a clean tip, missed that, and the rebound this time to Snider. Xavier Wilson will run the point. Left wing for Till. He's not going to shoot. He'll pass up top instead to Hogue. Hogue stops at the arc, gives to Pascal. Pascal left wing to Wilson up top. Wilson pulls up left elbow. Got it. 16-footer for Xavier Wilson. Snider leads it. Here's a drive all the way to the basket. Layup good for Mason Darrell. Ties the ball game 2-2. 6:09 to play. Opening quarter. Wilson on the dribble. Goes on the wing. And away from the ball, you got a Shaw dropping to the deck, and they're going to call Pascal for a foul all the way across the court. The ball was on the right wing, and Pascal commits a foul over on the left wing. First foul of the game called on Ketron Pascal. Now Crown Point with a chance to take their first lead. Molaski left open, top of the key, fires and hits a three. Nobody was going to cover him. Cooper Molaski, a 6'7" junior, he said, nobody comes out to get me, I'll drop it in. Beautiful looking shot, puts Crown Point up 5-2, and then Hogue just stepped on the sideline. Hogue made the catch and then stepped back with his foot and hit the sideline. Bad giveaway for Snider, their third turnover already. They're down 5-2. Crown Point in the front court. We've got a hold down low called on Lane Patterson of Snider. First foul on Patterson. Shaw was trying to post up. And the inbound goes right through Hogue, who had his back turned, and then Shaw makes the catch and lays it in. Dikembe Shaw makes it 7-2, and it's 7 straight points scored by Crown Point. Panthers front court. Pascal to Wilson. Wilson, left wing, three, got it. Wilson with 5, all the Snider points, and it's a 2-point game. 7-5, Bulldogs. Shaw, shot fake, now a drive, and he goes to slam it. He lost the ball, but he got it back. Still Crown Point. Here's a three for Darrell from the left wing, is good. 10-5, Crown Point leading it. 4:45 to play, opening quarter. Xavier Wilson gives to Pascal, left wing. Pascal, top of the key, Then he throws a pass to the wing, and Darrell steps in and steals it. He goes in. Layup good, and Pascal picks up his second foul. Mason Darrell, the steal and the finish. And it's a 12-5 Crown Point start. 4:31 remains opening quarter. Timeout, Snider. You're listening to high school basketball presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. 4:31 remaining opening quarter. A 12-5 Crown Point lead. And the Bulldogs have Mason Darrell at the free throw line, who connects and makes it 13-5. And now full court pressure from Crown Point. Snider seemed to be unprepared for it. They get it into Jordan Woods. Woods will give it back to Wilson. Wilson across the timeline. Top of the key to Fertil. Fertil dribbles between the circles. Throws to Woods on his left. Woods turns to drive, and they held him. And the foul is on Michael Wilson, a 6'4 sophomore for Crown Point. Halfway through our first quarter, we had our first subs come in during the timeout. Wilson off the Crown Point bench. Well, it's Woods entering the game for Snider, and there's the ball knocked away. And again, the Bulldogs got a hand in the passing lane. It goes out of bounds near midcourt. Snider basketball, 4:12 left first quarter, 13-5 Crown Point. Xavier Wilson, high post to Woods, got past his man, pulls up foul line drive jumper, no, but tipped in by Lane Patterson. 13-7. Front court, Crown Point. Shaw, right wing to Darrell. Coming off a screen, Peters. He takes it right elbow. Gives it up to Wilson. He'll shoot the right wing three. No, long rebound to Darrell. Cutting to the basket. Wilson, he'll get the feed from Darrell, and Wilson lays it in. 15-7, Crown Point. Trell Hogue, center circle. Flips left to Fertil. Patterson rotates it right side to Wilson. Xavier Wilson. Step back three, and it's off short right. And the rebound taken on one bounce by Mason Darrell of Crown Point. He's going to go all the way, coast to coast. Layup, missed it, almost dropped it in, but he's going to go to the free throw line to shoot two. The foul on Lane Patterson of Snider. And Mason Darrell, coast to coast, will shoot two free throws and try to add to a 15-7 lead. First free throws up and short. 3:14 remaining, quarter number one, and for the first time, Chance DeRosset enters the game for Snider. Three-point specialist, left-handed shooter, DeRosset, a 6'5 sophomore. For a 9-point lead, the free throw good by Mason Darrell. 16-7, Crown Point advantage. Tick down to about 3 minutes left in our first quarter. Hogue's on the dribble, left wing. Picked up by Shaw. He'll shoot it over Shaw and hit a three. Trell Hogue, no fear from distance. 6'2 junior shoots it right over the 6'7 senior, and it's 16-10. Now backdoor cut, got a man open. Layup by Peters, good. He beat Snider on the backdoor. 18-10. Fertil will try a three from the corner. He hits a triple. He's a 38% three-point shooter. 18-13. Now Wilson on the perimeter for Crown Point. They get it to Shaw, right wing. And he got Fertil in the air. Now he'll drive. Missed the layup. Rebound to Rossett. And then the ball poked away. And they're going to say it was last touched by Snider. So Crown Point will inbound under their basket. Goes into Shaw, right back to Peters. Peters, right wing, up top, through Wilson. He'll give it off to Rhodes. Now Peters. High right to Wilson. Dikembe Shaw from the top of the key. Drives on Woods, forces it up, didn't get it, and a good box out by the Panthers. Fertil will get the rebound. Here comes Wilson, and as he goes to drive, he's held up by Peters. That'll be a foul on Bryce Peters at Crown Point. Minute 52 to play in our first quarter, 18-13. Crown Point the advantage over the Snider Panthers. Snider inbounding under the basket. And a delay. Now the ball being put into play. The lob up top. Wilson, he'll fire it and miss it off to the right. Rebound comes down to Crown Point. Reed Kagi, who made the rebound. He's off the Crown Point bench. And they got Wilson to Shaw. Up top to Caden Rhodes. You got Kingston, the starter, Caden off the bench. Here's Shaw working from the block into the lane. Pull-up jumper, good from 10 feet for Dikembe Shaw. Minute 20 to play, opening quarter, 20-13. Crown Point up by 7. Snider into the front court. Wilson for Till, just outside the center circle. For Till, weaves through traffic, down the lane, tried to muscle it up and got it stripped on the way up by Shaw. Goes out of bounds, last touch by Crown Point. And Snider will inbound under the basket. Minute 4, first quarter, 20-13. Crown Point, Snider to trigger it. And they lob it in the lane, and Woods makes the catch and lays it in. Jordan Woods, his first bucket, 20-15. Crown Point front court. Here's Wilson on the drive, and he traveled. He got into traffic, picked up the dribble, thought he was going to pass, and I think he got a little indecision, and it cost him a turnover. So Crown Point gives the ball to Snider. Panthers down 5 with 49.6 seconds left first quarter. Inbound to Wilson. Wilson guarded by Rhodes in the backcourt. Caden Rhodes guarding Wilson. Wilson had it poked away, but it goes to Woods. Baseline right back to Wilson. Now Wilson's picked up by Darrell. Baseline Woods to Fertil in the paint. Outside finds Hogue, and a three is good. Trell Hogue from distance, his second triple. And the Panthers are within 2. Very similar to our first game, where Homestead got off to a very rocky start, but then stormed back late first quarter and second quarter. Last 10 seconds of quarter number 1. Crown Point with the ball in a 2-point lead. And contact in the lane, and we're going to have a foul called on Snider away from the basketball. Trell Hogue guilty of the foul. Hogue picks up his first foul, but it is the 5th on the Panthers, which means we've got free throws for Mason Darrell. And the first one is no good. He left it short. So it's going to be a one-possession game, even if he makes this. 5.6 seconds on the clock. Late first quarter, 20-18. And the second free throw is up and good. 21-18. Snider inbounds. Backcourt baseline. 5.6 seconds. It goes to Wilson. Wilson quickly front court. Alley-oop to Woods, and it wasn't quite high enough. And Woods couldn't get it cleanly, and that will end our first quarter. 21-18. It's Crown Point with the lead over the Snider Panthers after 1. You're listening to Class 4A Semi-State Semifinal Basketball from Elkhart. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. The winner will go on to take on Northridge tonight in a semi-state championship game to decide who goes to Gainbridge Fieldhouse next week. And after 1, it is Crown Point 21, Snider 18. Panthers start the second quarter with Wilson, Hogue, Fertil, DeRosset, and Woods. Wilson on the dribble, center circle. Snider runs some motion through the paint, setting some screens, and they go to DeRosset, and he's standing on the sideline. Turnover, Snider. All that action, and then DeRosset, the 6'5 sophomore, just got too close to the sideline making the catch. And so a turnover for Snider. Crown Point, front court. Pull up Rhodes, three is off the mark, and the rebound to Fertil. He gets swiped at by Shaw, no call. Now Snider, front court, Wilson, left wing. Between the circles to Hogue. Trell Hogue takes it up to the arc, flips it to Fertil. Fertil almost lost the dribble, now sends it back to Hogue, right wing. Hogue sizing up his man, drive, goes to the basket, missed the layup. Here comes Crown Point. Oh, what dribbling and ball handling by Shaw down low, and then he throws it away. Shaw with some nifty ball handling work, got all the way to the left side of the lane and tried to flip it back to the right and just threw it past everybody. So Crown Point a turnover, and we remain 21-18. A little over a minute into our second quarter. Fertil has it outside the arc, gives to Hogue. That's a long three for Hogue, and he missed it. Barely grazed the right iron. Here comes Crown Point. Quickly front court, Peters to Rhodes, and it goes to three by Darrell, no good, but chased down by Kingston Rhodes. Now he'll drive from the baseline, get all the way to the basket and score it. Rhodes, a 5'9" senior guard, just took it to the trees and finished off the window. 23-18, Crown Point by 5, and a bad pass. DeRossa to the wing, under through Hogue, and it was stolen. And then Snider had to reach in to save the breakaway layup, and the foul is on Trell Hogue, his second. That's where your teammate makes a bad pass to set you up for your second foul, and now you've got to sit out. Hogue has to go to the bench with 2 fouls. Pascal comes back into the game for Snider. Shaw. Molaski on the perimeter. Hands it off to Peters. Peters outside. Rhodes, corner to Shaw. Shaw is going to drive, get into the lane, and then try to throw it back out to the corner. And again, his pass is wild, intended for Molaski. And another bad pass by Dikembe Shaw. Another Crown Point turnover. 23-18. We're under 6 minutes left, first half. Xavier Wilson will drive. He'll put it up on the run. Bank it, no. Rebound Shaw. Crown Point's to push. Shaw down the lane to the basket. Left-handed layup, good with the finger roll for Dikembe Shaw. He's got 6. 25-18. Crown Point by 7. Another drive by Wilson. This time as he goes up with the left hand, driving down the left side of the lane, he gets fouled. And Xavier Wilson's going to go to the free throw line. He'll shoot a pair where he's a 78% free throw shooter. The foul on Cooper Molaski, 6'7" junior, picks up his first. 5:29 remaining, first half, and no good on the first free throw. Still 25-18. Wilson will have another coming. Looks for his 6th point. It's up and count it. 25-19. 6-point game. Front court, Crown Point. Kingston Rhodes runs the point, throws to the wing to Darrell, back up top. Rhodes, high post Peters, back to Rhodes. In the corner, they got Darrell open, and he hits a 3. They just picked on numbers, got it to the wing, only one defender over there, and so they played catch until somebody got the free look, and it was Mason Darrell dropping a triple that gives Crown Point a 9-point lead. 28-19, a timeout called with 5:11 left in the second quarter. You're listening to high school basketball presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. First semifinals at the semi-state Class 3A, New Haven 63, Delta 49. That was at Logansport. Also down in Muncie, Luers victorious over one-loss Oak Hill. So a big win for Bishop Luers, 68-64 in Class 2A. Snider breaks some pressure, and in the front court, Panthers will slow it down, trailing by 9. It's 28-19. We go under 5 minutes left first half. Woods, kick out, DeRossa. He's open, 3. Left is short right. Battle for the rebound, tipped around. It goes to Snider, and a bounce pass from the foul line underneath, intended for Fertil. is out of bounds, and they'll say it was deflected by Crown Point. So Snider will have the ball under their basket. 4:50 to play. Second quarter. 28-19, and the inbound to Trell Hogue. He's back out there with 2 fouls. Pascal, top of the key, step back, and left it short. Just barely got it to the front rim for Tank Pascal. And Crown Point, the basketball with a chance to go up double digits. Kingston Rhodes gives to Peters. Peters will hand it to Darrell. High post Molaski. Molaski back to the basket from the top of the key. Gives to Peters. Driving down the right side of the lane, and he got it blocked. Goes out of bounds, and it was last touched by Crown Point. Panthers will inbound. Again, Crown Point looks to apply pressure. They'll allow the inbound to Wilson, but they will pick him up man-to-man all the way 84 feet. Pascal between the circles. Stops at the arc. Goes down low for Till. And then for Till with a lot of body contact. He bounced right into Darrell. Till, a football player, didn't shy away from contact, but in doing so, he lost the dribble, but they say it was off Crown Point, and the Panthers get a big break there. Panthers inbound. Wilson, corner triple. Air ball underneath Hogue. Hogue puts up the follow, and that's no good. Been better served to pass it out. You know, and that's one of those things for young players. They get an offensive rebound, and they almost feel like it's their right to get a follow shot when you're much better going up into the trees. That if you get the offensive rebound, take the extra possession, kick it out, even if you have to set up the offense. That time Hogue tried to force it up against taller defenders and didn't get the follow. So Crown Point has the basketball. And a drive by Shaw. Blocked. A lot of contact, no whistle. Crown Point fans unhappy, but Snider comes away with it. Fertil in the corner. Braylon Fertil gives to Hogue. He splits 2 defenders, drives, hangs, and banks it. Trell Hogue with a circus shot. 28-21. Hogue with 8 points. Peters, and that's a reach in on Fertil. Braylon Fertil called for the foul. And Fertil picks up his first foul. Third of the quarter. Inbound Molaski. And he's left open to drive baseline and lay it in. He faked a handoff, and both Panthers defenders just fell asleep. Allowed Molaski to drive almost uncontested down the baseline to the basket. 30-21. Nifty spin move in the lane for Xavier Wilson. And he'll put in a 10-foot jumper. 8 for Wilson. 30-23. 2:50, and the clock is running, second quarter. Shaw between the circles. Molaski rotates it to the right wing to Peters. Cross-court pass, Shaw. Shot fake. Now he's going to drive right around Pascal, and Pascal reached out and grabbed it. And that's going to be a foul on Pascal. His third, I believe. It is foul number 3 on Tank Pascal. He bit on the shot fake for the left wing on that skip pass, and then had no choice when Shaw decked it to just reach out and kind of grab him. And there's the inbound, and they get Shaw open, and he missed the layup. Got it back, puts it in a second time. Dikembe Shaw with 8 points. 32-23, Crown Point. Last 2.5 minutes of our first half. Hogue to Fertil, baseline. He's cut off by Shaw. Fertil still on the bounce, left wing. Up top to Wilson. Wilson with the spin, behind the back dribble, but he can't get past Peters. Wilson still on the dribble. Wants to drive, kick in the corner. Fertil, 3, no. And the rebound to Crown Point. Kingston Rhodes will pull it down for the Bulldogs. Front court for the 5'9" senior guard. Drew Darrell, it goes left wing to Peters. Shaw has it just right at the top of the key. His 3 is off, and the rebound tipped and grabbed by Hogue. He'll give it off to Woods. Jordan Woods, pull-up foul line jumper. Good for Jordan Woods. Four points for Jordan Woods, 32-25. Minute and a half. Shaw has it up top to Molaski. Takes the pass left wing, goes right wing to Darrell. Darrell's going to drive past Hogue, get to the basket, and get fouled on the shot. And I think it's the third on Trell Hogue. Got beat on the drive, and from behind had to try to block the layup. And in doing so, committed his third foul of the first half. So to the line will be Mason Darrell, 6'2 senior for Crown Point, looking to add to a 7-point Bulldogs lead. Minute 17 to play before halftime. And it is good. Oh, boy. That ball touched every piece of iron before falling through. We're going to hear from IHSA Commissioner Paul Neidig at halftime. .33-25. Second one way short. That one barely clipped the front rim. 8-point lead for the Bulldogs. Minute 10. Panthers across the timeline. Wilson on the dribble. Wilson still on the bounce. Left wing. Patterson up top. It goes through the hands of Woods. Taken by Crown Point. Wilson gets the lead pass, and as he goes up for the layup, he's fouled by Snider's Shamar Reddick. .2 seconds on the clock, 33-25, and it's going to be two free throws that could give Crown Point a double-digit lead. And the free throws will be Michael Wilson, 6'4 sophomore, and the first one, line drive off the back heel. That was a bullet. Sometimes that's where you see nerves from the younger players. Second one's up, and that one also a line drive, no good. And the rebound is tipped and goes out of bounds off the hands of Snider's Lane Patterson. Crown Point will keep possession. Two missed free throws, but Snider couldn't collect the rebound. So Crown Point will inbound. In the corner to Darrell. He's catching and shooting. It's no good. Woods the rebound, lead pass. Patterson, and it is time for a two-handed flush by Patterson. Showtime in Elkhart. And Darrell just got stripped as he drove into the lane. Snider the ball with 37 seconds, 33-27. Wilson, top of the key. Gives it high right to Reddick with 25 seconds. Clock's running. Reddick, right wing to Jordan Woods. Woods spins, baseline side, hangs in the air, and a blocking foul called on Crown Point. Woods will shoot two free throws with 16.8 seconds. 6-point lead for Crown Point, but Jordan Woods a chance to cut into it. Woods, a 6'6 senior. Only 49% of the season at the charity stripe. The first one, good. Didn't look like 49%. That was a nice rotation. Slippery right through the twine. 33-28. Second free throw. Draw the Panthers within 4. And he got it. Two free throws for Jordan Woods. It's 33-29. Now the last shot. 12 seconds. Across the timeline is Peters. Bryce Peters. Just outside the center circle against Woods. Pulls up, shoots a three. Got it with 1 second. Bryce Peters with a three-pointer. 36-29. Crown Point takes the lead at the half. Well, that is a certain momentum grabber for Crown Point. Looked like Snider might have the momentum going to the break, but then Bryce Peters just took care of business himself, brought it down, measured it up, and then hit it from about 4 feet behind the three-point line. So Crown Point with a 23-1 record this season is leading it at the half, 36-29. Crown Point, the highest ranked team, still alive in the tournament. Number 2 in the poll behind Fishers. But, of course, Fishers got beat in the sectional championship by Carmel, who got beat by Snider. And Snider now takes on Crown Point here in the semi-state. But it's Crown Point 36, Snider 29 at the half. We're going to take a break. We're going to be coming back for our second half here at Elkhart. But in the meantime, we want you to hear from IHSA Commissioner Paul Neidig. That comes up next. This is high school basketball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Welcome back to Elkhart North Gymnasium, a building that has been around a long time and can hold about 7,500 people. We start our third quarter, 36-29. Crown Point, the Bulldogs start with the ball, a spin and a drive by Dikembe Shaw, and he gets fouled trying to get the shot up. So 9 seconds into our third quarter, and Crown Point a chance to extend a 36-29 lead. Dikembe Shaw, 6'7", senior. No good on the first. Division I recruit. He'll be playing in the Valley. He's committed to UIC, former Horizon League school, now part of the Missouri Valley. Second free throw's good, 37-29. And now full court pressure on the floor for the Panthers. The 5 starters, with the exception of Trell Hogue sitting and Chance DeRosset in the game. Oh, nice spin, Wilson. Pull up, foul line jumper, good for Xavier Wilson. Wilson with double figures. He's got 10 in the lead, 37-31. Now a pass down low, and they sailed it right over Peters' head. Bad pass from the right wing to the left block. Peters cutting to the basket, but Darrell's pass way too high. So a turnover for Crown Point. The Panthers down by 6, bring it front court, 7:23 and the clock running. Hand off to Wilson. Wilson corner to Patterson. He'll dribble all the way up top and send a left wing to Fertil. Fertil, Pascal, DeRosset, corner to Patterson, and then his pass is a bad one. It goes all the way out of bounds in the Crown Point front court, and it's going to belong to the Bulldogs. A turnover for Snider. 37-31, Bulldogs leading it, 7:03 to play third quarter. Got some scores of other games we'll get to here in just a second. Down low, Pascal stepped in front of Shaw and intercepted it. So a turnover for Crown Point. A little sloppy here to start our second half. Wilson, he's doubled at the left wing. DeRosset corner triple. Got it! Chance DeRosset, his second three. And it's a one-possession game. 37-34 with 6.5 left. Third quarter. Peters, right elbow. Up top, got Molaski unguarded, and he hits another three. Same spot he did in the first half. Panthers are not going out and even getting a hand up on Molaski, the 6'7 junior. And just like that, it's back to a 6-point lead, 40-34. Pascal on the wing. Patterson hands it to Wilson. Wilson at the arc, near the corner to Pascal. They won't guard him on the perimeter. Pascal's going to pound down low into Shaw. Put up a jump hook, didn't get it, but a foul called on Shaw. Dikembe Shaw picks up the personal. It's going to put Tank Pascal to the free throw line to shoot a pair. First foul of the game on Dikembe Shaw of Crown Point. 40-34, 6:01 to play in the third, and the first free throw's good. Swirls down the drain. That is the first point of the contest for Pascal. Comes minute 59 into our second half. Second one is no good. Here comes off right, and the rebound to Shaw. Comes Crown Point. Shaw pull up from the three-point line. Swish for Dikembe Shaw. 12 points for Shaw, 43-35. Panthers front court for Till, right wing. Wilson up top, crosses over, tried to use the Pascal screen and lost the ball off his foot. Went and got it near midcourt. Pick and roll, Pascal underneath. tried to deck it and had it stolen. And now at midcourt, Wilson reaches in and fouls Kingston Rhodes. The foul on Wilson. That is going to be his second. Second on the team here in the quarter. 5:29 to play. We're in the third. 43-35 Crown Point. State's number 2 ranked team. Trying to advance to tonight's championship where they'll take on Northridge. A winner over Homestead in our first game. Peters, top of the key. Drives right side of the lane. Dishes it off nicely on the bounce across the lane to Mulaski, who lays it in. 10 for Mulaski. 45-35, 10-point lead. Open three-pointer. Patterson, back iron, no. And on the rebound, they got a foul called. It's on Crown Point. They call it on Mason Darrell, the 6'2 senior. So Snider will inbound under the basket. Ball inbounded in the corner to Wilson. Up top, DeRosset again. Got it. Rattled it in. Third triple for Chance DeRosset. And then a drive all the way to the basket and the layup for Rhodes. And they really try to attack you after buckets. 47-38. And there's DeRosset. Pass knocked away as he was cutting in the lane. And here comes Crown Point. They'll take it the other way. Layup good by Darrell. The steal and transition. And Mason Darrell with the left-handed layup finish. 49-38 and a timeout, Snider. 4:25 remains third quarter. Panthers down 11 to the Crown Point Bulldogs. You're listening to Semi-State Basketball presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. 4:25 remains quarter number 3 here at Elkhart. It's the second semifinal. The winner of this one plays Northridge, a 46-39 win over Homestead in the first game of the day here at Elkhart Northside Gymnasium. Crown Point 49, Snider 38, Panthers inbound, backcourt. Already we've got Bishop Luers and New Haven advancing into championship games. Columbia City well on their way. It'll be an all-NE8 final at Logansport. Good drive by Wilson and a tough shot from the left block. That was just Wilson determined to get a bucket. Here's a three for Darrell. Got it! And a foul! No, it's a flop. They call the flop. Darrell shot it and then fell back like he'd been hit. Darrell's going to the line like he drew the foul call, but it is a flop. A warning given. 52-40, though. Crown Point extends their lead. For the Bulldogs, Darrell gets into double figures. DeRosset, left corner three, left a short, rebound tip. It goes out of bounds, and it was off Crown Point. Snider will get it. Baseline outside the short corner. It'll be inbounded by Braylon Fertil. Fertil inbounds it up top between the circles. Wilson, right wing to DeRosset, back to Wilson. Wilson from up top, got pushed. Foul will be on Mason Darrell of Crown Point. 3:46 on the clock. Quarter number 3, 52-40. Crown Point up by 12. Snider inbounds. Thrown into the backcourt. Wilson will go back. Uncontested. Xavier Wilson through the center circle. Now dribbles to the left wing. In the corner, Patterson right back to Wilson. Wilson, pull-up jumper, three-pointer, no. Rebound is tipped and finally grabbed by Mulaski of Crown Point. Gives it to Rhodes. Crown Point really pushes, tries to find an opportunity every transition. Now Rhodes will drive on Snider and get a foul call. The foul is going to be on Lane Patterson. Picks up his third on the team here in the quarter. This one starting to get away from Snider. They're going to have to get some stops, and they won't on that. An inbound under the basket goes to Rhodes. A shot fake, got a man in the air, and then Rhodes lays it in. The 5'9" guard just snuck to the basket. Caught Snider snoozing, and now a pick and roll from a bad angle. Hogue tried to lob it to Pascal from almost behind him from the top of the key. Pascal cutting down the lane, and a bad angle for that pass. A really tough catch for Pascal, and it goes off his hands out of bounds. So Snider turns it over with under 3 minutes left, third quarter. Crown Point up by 14, and there's a strip, but it goes right to Dikembe Shaw of Crown Point. Shaw on the dribble between the rings. Takes it left on the wing to Peters. Bryce Peters off of a Shaw screen. Peters throws between the circles to Darrell. Darrell's going to drive on DeRosset, and there's too much contact from Chance DeRosset, and a foul called on the Snider sophomore. That's the first foul against Chance DeRosset, fourth on the team. Inbound, they try alley-oop. Darrell couldn't handle it, and here comes Snider. Quickly for Till, pull-up three-pointer, no! Rebound tipped once, tipped twice, and then it goes to Shaw, and then Shaw gets mugged by DeRosset, who was late into the game. DeRosset was outside the three-point arc, and when he saw the ball being tipped, just as Shaw grabbed it, DeRosset made a play for it, and it created a collision between Shaw and DeRosset. DeRosset guilty of the foul, his second, but it's free throws at the other end for Dikembe Shaw. 2:24 to play, quarter number 3. Crown Point already up 14, and they got a chance to extend that lead with Shaw going to the line. First one is good. Shaw with his 13th point. 6'7" senior. Second one. Good. Got them both. 56-40. This was a one-possession game earlier in this quarter. Now Jordan Woods pull up mid-range left wing, no good. Rebound goes to Mulaski of Crown Point to Rhodes. Rhodes is pushing down the right side of the lane. Now he'll circle out to the corner, find Peters trailing, and the three is short. Long rebound to Shaw. Shaw will force up the shot because Woods was falling into his leg. And an alert play by Dikembe Shaw. Get contact and get 2 free throws out of it. He went and grabbed it, and Woods had lost his balance. Shaw knew there was going to be contact, so he just threw a shot up. And the first free throw is good for Dikembe Shaw with exactly 2 minutes left in the quarter. It's now 57-40. Shaw. Second one. And that's good. 16 for Shaw. 58-40. Crown Point. Hogue, left corner, left alone, so he'll shoot and miss the three. Rebound to Dikembe Shaw of Crown Point. Well, if this score holds, we'll have a heck of a game in the championship. Be a pair of one-loss teams, both ranked top 6 in the state. Northridge has already won against Homestead. Now Shaw on the dribble, minute 26. He'll skip it to the right wing to Caden Rhodes. Caden Rhodes wears number 3. Kingston, number 2, the starter. There's a pass down low. Shaw gets it to Mulaski, and he'll slam it home. Cooper Mulaski, the 6'7" junior, makes it a 20-point Crown Point lead. Now Jordan Woods, top of the key. Outside right to Wilson. And away from the ball down low. Looks like it's going to be a foul on Crown Point. Michael Wilson working against Zach Pascal. So they called the foul on Wilson. That's only the 4th foul of the quarter called on Crown Point with 51.7 seconds remaining in the third. 60-40. Bulldogs leading it over the Panthers. Snider will inbound baseline under their basket. And the pass from Wilson up top gets it to Hogue, left wing, and he goes to dribble through two defenders, and it's picked out of his pocket by Shaw. And then Shaw goes up for the layup, and reaching in is Tank Pascal, committing the foul. Pascal commits his fourth foul. To the line will be Dikembe Shaw, already with 16 points in the game. Shaw shooting 2 in the first one. No good. Score remains 60-40. Lane Patterson will come in for Pascal. Shaw's second free throw is good. 17 points for Shaw and a 21-point Crown Point lead. Now, Coach Clint Swan thinking about trying to get some rest for his starters. Here's Hogue, driving, hanging, and scoring with contact. Trell Hogue with a nice little change from the left to the right while hanging in the air, put it in and got fouled. He'll go to the free throw line to try to finish a three-point play, and just as they gave him the ball at the foul line, a sub comes in for Snider. Braylon Fertil will come in for Chance DeRossett. That's a defensive substitution for Josh Raikkonen. Fertil, a much better defender than DeRossett. Three-point play. Trell Hogue. And with 35 seconds, Hogue with 9 points, and then makes a steal in the Crown Point front court. Lead pass to Woods. Woods just lost it. Tried to take it to the basket, lost the dribble. It goes to Crown Point, and a timeout is called because they had Rhodes trapped in the backcourt. So it's a timeout with 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Scores today in games that were completed earlier in Class 4A here at Elkhart. It was Northridge 46, Homestead 39. Homestead season ends. Northridge waits the winner of this one. Also in 3A, a game in Logansport. It was New Haven winning at 63-49 over Delta. So New Haven is waiting on the winner of Columbia City and East Chicago Central, and that game was all Columbia City at last check. Also, Bishop Lures gets a 68-64 win over Oak Hill, and they'll play for a semi-state championship tonight. Crown Point with the basketball. Last 5 seconds. Down to 3. Now a double team, and they're going to call a foul with 1 second. Panthers came out and had the trap on the sideline, but as Rhodes went to pass it, one of the Panthers reached in 35 feet from the basket and fouled him on the arm with just 1.1 second on the clock. Learning moment for the Panthers. That is not the place to commit the foul, because if he'd have passed it, they almost had no chance of getting a shot off. Now they get to the free throw line, and the first one is good. First point of the game for Caden Rhodes. And he misses the second. 62-43. Full court shot. No good at the horn. And we end our third quarter. All Crown Point in quarter number 3. And they'll take a 19-point lead to our fourth quarter when we return. Bulldogs 62. Panthers 43. It's the Class 4A semi-state at Elkhart. Semifinal number 2. Presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. Panthers with the ball. Hogue a drive, splits defenders, floats it up, no good. And the rebound to Crown Point. 62-43. Crown Point a 19-point lead as we start the fourth quarter. Shaw, left corner. Oh, behind the back goes to Molaski. He'll skip it out in the corner to Darrell, and a three is good by Mason Darrell. 65-43. 22 for Mason Darrell. Snider with Ho giving it to Fertil. He lost the dribble, and it goes to Crown Point. Bulldogs with the ball, front court. It goes to Rhodes. He'll trigger on a three, and it's too strong. Long rebound, though, chased down by Crown Point to Darrell. Again? No. Rebound follow is good. And a foul. Rhodes got to the basket cleanly on the rebound follow, and as he puts it in, he gets fouled. He'll have a chance at a three-point play for the Crown Point Bulldogs, with just 7:01 remaining in this ball game. 67-43. It is all Crown Point. Kingston Rhodes looks to finish the three-point play at the charity stripe, and his free throw is good. 68-43. That's 9 points for Kingston Rhodes. Well, scoreboard watching in game 2 of our semi-state. End of 3, Columbia City 57, East Chicago Central 25. Here's Hogue, open, left wing three. Way too strong. Fertil had the rebound but lost it, and it goes to Crown Point. Now Darrell, one-on-one. Darrell against Pascal will challenge Pascal. Got stuffed, but they're going to call the foul on Pascal, and that's his fifth. Give credit to Mason Darrell. The courage he had to take it right to Tank Pascal. And, of course, there's a reason they call him Tank. A big-bodied 6'5 junior. And Darrell took it right at him in the open court one-on-one, and he'll get 2 free throws out of it. First free throw is no good. He left it short. That's what he's been doing with his free throws, hitting front rim. Still has 22 points. He's leading the Crown Point attack. 6:44 remains. Second free throw. That's short. And this rebound tipped around and finally goes to Hogue of Snider. He's 1-on-4, so he gives it to a trailer for Till. He'll spin down the lane. Layup. Too strong for Fertil with the right-handed scoop off the window. Here comes Crown Point front court. 6.5 to play, and in the corner, it's Darrell. Way short on a three. Rebound underneath goes to Fertil, and he is fouled. Crown Point tried to reach in and strip it from Fertil. And the foul on Molaski is his second. Snider the ball, down by 25 points. Wilson, oh, nice crossover, got to the basket and lays it in. And then he comes up hobbling. Say that one's the ankle breaker with the little left-right crossover, and he got a clear path. But he might have broke his own ankle. And I say that figuratively, not literally, as he hobbles over to the huddle with a timeout called. Again, just a 30-second timeout, so we'll go back to the scoreboard. With Columbia City well on their way to winning the second semifinal, all NE8 tonight at Logansport. Columbia City will take on New Haven. A rematch from a game earlier this year. That'll be a heck of a final at Logansport. Meanwhile, Lures beat Oak Hill, handing the Golden Eagles just their second loss this season. Big win for Seth Coughing and Bishop Lures. No play for a championship. Here's a drive by Rhodes. Blocked on the layup try by Patterson, and the ball goes to Wilson of Snider, and as he goes behind his back trying to weave through defenders, he has it poked away, and Crown Point comes up with the basketball. 5:45 to play. The clock runs. Crown Point, after the Snider turnover, with the dribble in the front court. Rhodes to the corner to Shaw. To Rhodes. Now up high corner of the half court to Peters. Rhodes has it at the arc. In the corner, it's going to be Shaw. And they go to a four corners. They have spaced the entire half court, literally in the four corners. Mulaski, now the top right corner to Darrell. He'll skip down low, goes through traffic, deflected away, and it's stolen by Snider. Tried to get tricky. Snider comes away with it. Here's Hogue at the foul line. Down the right side of the lane. Outside to Fertil. A three is short. It's an air ball. Saved underneath, but nobody for Snider going for the ball. It's all Crown Point. Snider's pretty much lost it at this point. Down by 23, under 5 minutes left. And you've got Peters getting around his man, kicking the corner. Shaw not even looking at the basket. He throws it up top to burn some more time. Mulaski from the left corner up top to Darrell. Cross courts it right side to Rhodes. Rhodes will drive into the lane and circle all the way back out. He'll take over the spot, high left corner. Now to Darrell in the middle of the defense. Up top to Peters. Peters has it high right. They're in the four corners. Peters gives it up to Darrell. He goes on the dribble. Now Darrell gets it back. High left corner, and there's a reach in on Lane Patterson of Snider. That's only the third foul of the quarter. Fourth foul, though, on Patterson. 4:12 left. Crown Point moving into a championship. Here's a drive, Peters. Mulaski outside, and he'll throw it up top to Rhodes. Peters. Mulaski cuts baseline. Peters with the bullet, and Mulaski with the catch and layup. 70-45. Hogue, left baseline. Up top to DeRosset. Between the circles, it is Wilson. Three on the way. It is an air ball fired up by Patterson. Crown Point the basketball. 3.5 minutes left. Snider's going to fall to 20-8 as their final record. Crown Point, 24th win in 25 games. They'll advance to tonight's championship against Northridge. Northridge will come in 26-1. Foul on the perimeter called on Wilson of Snider. His third. Fourth on the team in the quarter. 3:18 remaining. 70-45. Crown Point showing why they are the number 2 ranked team in the state. For Crown Point, they've made it here to semi-state 3 years in a row, and they faced disappointment the last 2 years, falling to Fishers both times. Well, Fishers not here. And they've got today's opponent to thank for that in some way. Carmel beat Fishers, and Snider beat Carmel. Here's a drive. Peters goes around the defense. There's just no effort from Snider. They let Peters get right to the basket for the layup. 72-45 and a timeout. And I think that's enough for Josh Raikkonen. He's going to empty his bench. He saw that his Panthers they've thrown the towel in. Peters made one fake, top of the key, got past his man, and then just went to the basket, and nobody for Snider even attempted to defend him. 72-45, 2:55 left. We got a timeout on the floor, and we'll take a break. You're listening to Class 4A semi-state basketball from Elkhart on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. 2:55 remaining, and it is Crown Point 72-45. Now we get to see some new names and faces into the lineup. Jace Quarles for Snider, and Panthers give it up. It's going to lead to a breakaway for Crown Point. They get it down low to, a guy that is in the game without being on the roster. Not exactly. They've got guys now that have entered the game that are not even on the roster. You got a 30 and a 34 in there for Crown Point. They don't have a 30 or 34 on their roster. Here's a drive by Quarles. Nice spin move, and he put it in with a finger roll. 72-47. Three from the corner for Crown Point is too strong, and the rebound to Jordan Davis of Snider. Lead pass for the Panthers, front court to Tarico Fields. Now a three launched up by Davis, top of the key. It's no good. Rebound goes off the hands of Crown Point, but tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Tarico Fields of Snider. Minute 59 to play, 72-47. Crown Point getting some extra rest. They've got to bounce back and play at 8 o'clock tonight against Northridge, who gets the extra rest by playing the first game. Crown Point works around the perimeter. They go low post. And KG will turn from the right block and bank it in. Went right over the top of Quarles to score. 74-47, minute and a half. Quarles at the three-point line. Splits defenders, drives. Oh, and he traveled. They didn't call it. I think the refs have swallowed their whistle. The missed layup, and it goes to KG. He'll drive. He gets fouled. They didn't call that. The ball finally goes out of bounds, so they have to blow their whistle now, and it belongs to Crown Point. KG with a word to Joe Rudolph, one of our three officials. I'm sure that Rudolph just said not enough contact to stop the game with this score. So Crown Point with the ball, a minute 15. It goes to Jack Lux. Lux is on the roster, a 6'1 senior. Up top to KG. KG on the dribble between the rings. We're under a minute to play, 74-47. Dribbling through the front court. Crown Point still working the ball with Christian Hughes, a 6-foot freshman on the floor. Gives to KG. KG has it bumped away by Davis. Davis comes back, guards KG in the backcourt. A lot of contact, still no whistle. 32 seconds. KG in the front court picks up the dribble and goes to the sideline to number 30, who is not on the roster. He'll give it up top to Lux, down to 21 seconds. Lux works against Fields. There's a drive. Lux gets all the way to the basket and lays it in with 12 seconds. 76-47. And now Quarles for Snider with 5 seconds. Gets to the basket, spins, puts it up, no good. Rebound tipped out. Quarles will shoot a three at the horn. It's no good. And that will be our final. Crown Point with domination here in game number 2 of the semi-state semifinals. 76-47. Bulldogs win it over the Snider Panthers. We'll come back and wrap it up next. This is high school basketball presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM. They've got a barn burner going on in Class 2A, trying to see who's going to play Bishop Luers tonight at the Muncie Fieldhouse. Westview trying to hold on against LaPel. Of course, LaPel, a very short trip to get to Muncie. Westview, a pretty significant haul. And it is 63-62. Westview, the 1-point lead under a minute left. Westview was leading by 7 with around 3 minutes left, but a 12-6 run by LaPel has them right on the verge of knocking off Westview. And so we'll keep an eye on that one. Meanwhile, you've got Columbia City with just absolute domination over East Chicago Central. 66-37 was the final. And so it'll be an all NE8 final in 3A at Logansport, as the New Haven Bulldogs will be taking on the Columbia City Eagles, and the NE8 knows that they will be represented in a state championship game. And so what a year it has been for the NE8 in basketball. Norwell in a Class 4A state championship in girls basketball. Also in girls basketball, Belmont wins the 3A title. And then now you know that at least in 3A, it'll be either Columbia City or New Haven advancing to next week's state championship, which will be a 6 o'clock tip Saturday at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. But that championship game tonight at 8 p.m., once again, because of the way the IHSAA schedules their broadcast rights, we did not have an option to go to that game to broadcast it. I would love to be able to be there and bring it to you, but the way the broadcast rights are set up by the IHSAA, you have to choose your game and pay for your game in advance. And so we planned on being here, hoping one of our teams at least would advance to tonight. As it turns out, Homestead falls to Northridge, and now Snider falls 76-47 to the Crown Point Bulldogs. And so an 0-2 day in Elkhart for the 2-6-0 as Homestead falls to Northridge 46-39, a game that Northridge led early. Homestead won the second and into the third, but from early third quarter on, it was all Northridge. Homestead fought to make it interesting, but Northridge prevails 46-39 in the first 4A semi-state game. And in game number 2, not much doubt between Crown Point and Snider, as Crown Point, the state's number 2 ranked team, wins at 76-47. Now for Snider, a team that doesn't have the experience here at the semi-state, they take on a team in Crown Point that has been here 3 years in a row. So Crown Point has a little chip on their shoulder. They've lost to Fishers both years that they have been here. And so they had a little attitude that without Fishers, this was their year. And they certainly made a case with a big exclamation point in a 29-point win over Snider. So coming up tonight, once again, Logansport, you're going to have Columbia City versus New Haven in 3A. In 2A, we know that Bishop Luers will be one of the teams playing. And Westview is going to be the opponent because LaPel missed a 3 at the buzzer, and Westview survived 65-62. And Westview 26-1 on the season. It's going to be the second team that Luers will play today that comes into the game with just one loss. They already beat Oak Hill earlier, and now they are taking on a 26-1 Westview squad in Muncie. So we do have a couple of teams surviving 3A and 2A, and we'll see what happens for tonight and next week's broadcast. That will do it for us. Big thanks to Adam Lundy back in the studio. I am Brett Rump here in Elkhart, where again our final scores. Game 1 went to Northridge over Homestead 46-39. And in semifinal number 2, it was the Crown Point Bulldogs defeating the Snider Panthers 76-47. Thanks for spending time with us this afternoon, listening to high school basketball presented by Parkview Sports Medicine on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.